Hi, I am going to try to shed a little more light in my room. It's very dark here where I live. There we go. It's a little bit darker than normal. Let me see if I can turn this light on. Somebody unplugged it. So we'll go with this. All right. Um, well, first of all, they've changed this YouTube. I was just starting to get the hang of this stuff, and they've changed this stuff around. So I don't know if you can hear me. I don't even know how to send out the invites anymore. Um, Come on, light. Let's see. Okay. I've got to give the credit to where I saw this because I never caught it before, but it was during Chris Watts's interview with the detective the night, I think it was the night he confessed. Um, because he made a comment and they were saying basically, this doesn't make sense. We're just trying to get to the bottom of this. And he said, none of this makes sense. He said that she wasn't supposed to be there. Now, that's weird. Who wasn't supposed to be there? Um, like she said, and I'm looking for this video. And if I use this, I will definitely give her credit down here. I'll put it in to link to her video. And I pray that she doesn't mind me using this little section because um I never caught this and I have to give her credit. Um because I'm gonna give you I've had several different theories with this whole thing from start to finish. First of all, I think this goes very, very deep. I think it goes way deeper than what the news media is portraying. I think that it was done during this time for a reason. I think that um, the whole family, honestly, I truly believe was targeted by something else. Um, but I believe that this guy, literally, like when his wife went away. Now, there's some things. Now, first of all, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not a Chris Watts fan. I'm not at all. I mean, I think he is right where he needs to be, and I think that he needs deliverance, truly. Um, I think that he I think he says things that he wants people to hear. Um, and the only true time I feel that he was even slightly honest was when he was first like making this confession, and it wasn't honestly, excuse me, it wasn't honesty, like straightforward honesty at all. It was more like you had to read between the lines, and it wasn't always what he said. It was like that slip up because he was so just caught unprepared and he didn't have time to sit and methodically plan like he usually does everything out. He admitted that he planned like everything out that he would say to his wife or how he would do things or even whenever it came time to intimacy that like he would have to plan everything out ahead of time how he would do this or how he would do that. So I just am a little bit concerned that um that full justice has not been served. Um, and I'm gonna tell you right now what my theory is because I don't want to leave this long because I do want people to watch it because I think it's really, really important after watching. And listen, I came into this late, so literally I think I just found out about this. Maybe it's maybe been 2 months now. Maybe. I do not watch TV and I just happened to run across a Thrive video that Shanann had it was on, YouTube, and I found it, and the truth is that I have lupus, and I was like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna try to get in touch with this girl because I think that might be my answer," because everything she described, like, was the exact same symptoms and the same things I have dealt with. So I was like, "Oh, yeah, maybe this is my answer." So, I'm so sorry I can't get this any lighter. Uh, wait, and my knee is hurt right now. And that is another reason. Like I have arthritis, and I really, really, really believed like what she was saying. I mean, she was so sold on it. And listen, I know what it's like to be sick like that, and like just be so desperate for an answer, and not be able to find it. So like I could so like just um I don't know. I just felt a connection, like, and I'm sure a lot of people say that about her because she just seemed to have a very different type of personality that was just really, really special, and makes me really sad. And I didn't even know her. So I'm looking for that part where he said that because it was in one of the first videos, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like I said, I mean, I've just been going through this stuff, going through this stuff, going through this stuff, and I've been trying to just like collect as much as I can because I'm trying to really truly because at first what I was doing is I was trying to like in my logical mind figure out like what in the world could have happened to this family to make this I'm gonna try to cut my light on to make this happen. Like this is insane. Like this guy looked like he was a good dad. He loved his children. It seemed like um I mean the truth is it didn't seem very much different than my home. So maybe that's one reason that, it was a little bit scary maybe because okay. Okay. Now hey people, you can see me. All right, so I guess the reason it's a little bit scary because truthfully I'm a detective. Like I mean, listen, if my husband is somewhere and I don't know where he is, I am on the case. Like in the past, not since I've gotten older, but when we were younger and I was a little more jealous. Now we've been together for 28 years, so I'm probably not quite not that I don't love him the same, it's just that he has proven himself to be a good husband. But this is the scary part. He seemed that way too. So maybe that's one reason I have gotten so involved and interested in this case. And I think another reason is because that um, there were 3 children that perished, and she just seemed to be like a really sweet girl. But I know that people have all these different theories, but I'm just going to tell you what I think. And I have been praying about it and asking for some wisdom about the situation. Because I think the guy was telling the truth when he said the first part when he said, I didn't I didn't hurt those little girls. Because they were saying, "Are you okay with Shanann, getting the blame for it or whatever that she did this?" And he was like, "No." I mean, you could tell that he did not want that, but he was also trying to protect somebody else. So, he was like adamant about the fact that he did not hurt his girls. Um, so then when he said, before, none of this makes sense. She wasn't supposed to be there. The only day that I can think of that possibly something could have happened, like, um, he had made a comment, like, that she possibly had bipolar because whenever one night that she realized that she would be second, um, always to his wife, that she, like, threw some kinda big show on, um, uh, FaceTime or something and, like, he had to talk her off of a ledge. So, possibly, um, who knows what happened, I mean, he could have said, "Listen, um, you know," because he found out that they were having a boy. He did want a boy. Um, and I just wonder if he was maybe telling her possibly, because he knew that she was on the way back, possibly going like, let's take this a little bit slower. Um, you know, maybe he even told her she was pregnant. I don't know. If she, I have a hard time believing she didn't already know that as much as that his wife was on Facebook, and I mean, she definitely did not hide the fact that she was pregnant. Um, so I'm looking for this. Just so hold on 1 second. I'm trying to do it because I want to go fast on this. People get bored if they have to sit for a long time, but um, maybe I can tell you my theory while I look. But okay, so here is my theory that he came home with the kids from the birthday party and he brought them inside. And I don't know if maybe, um, they came in, they were supposed to eat spaghetti or something. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, he let the kids FaceTime. Um, maybe his dad. I'm not sure, but somebody. So I'm thinking like that was the proof that they had that that was the last time the kids were saw. That's the last time the kids were seen alive, or somebody could say that they had seen them, and I think it was on FaceTime. Mm. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong because I'm probably wrong on a couple of these things. Like I said, I'm coming into this later. But, I think Shanann asked where the kids were or whatever, and he said they were already in the bed. But this is my theory, okay? And theories are just that. They're theories. But I've just been thinking about all this stuff, and I just feel like that this girl just saw this life that just looked fantastic from the outside and like Um, I'm not sure if this was even her or if she was playing a role herself as the honey trap, but he fell for it for sure, hook, line, and sinker. Um, in fact, he made the comment, first of all, he wished that he was not working in the office. He wished he'd never gotten that promotion. He wished that his wife wouldn't have gone on vacation for that long. I mean, he said everything he could accept responsibility for himself. Um, so I think something happened and she popped up at the house and the kids are in the bed and I think that he like was just chilling out waiting on Shanann to get home probably so they could talk. Um, because I do think that he did want to get this off his chest and I don't know. I do think that he was all wound up in this girl, and I think that he was under a huge love bug spell. And I think that all of his mental, like, clarity went out of his mind. I don't know if he was on drugs. The home wrecker, the girlfriend, said that he hardly ever slept. So, thrive or not, vitamins, whatever. I don't think somebody could just stay up all the time and never sleep and go to work and stay up and not and that not affect them, unless they're taking some kind of stimulant or drug. I mean, it could be something like Adderall even. I mean, just anything like that. But if he is not getting enough sleep, that can definitely make you be psychotic. And um I personally believe in evil, and I think the man was possessed, honestly. Uh, there's soul ties, and I don't want to get into all that, but I'm just saying that I truly think that the man had to be possessed to do what he did to his wife. I truly believe he killed his wife. I'm not so sure about the girls, and I'm going to explain why. Because the way he acted to that detective was the one thing that he seemed to say with passion that he had nothing to do with the death of his daughters. Okay. Now, I think that he was at the house and she showed up because possibly they were on the phone. Maybe, he said something that she didn't like, I'm not like, possibly just, hey, we need to just take it a little bit slow, just, chill out for a minute. We just got back. She's just getting back, whatever. Because if she was set off like she was before, just because he had to go home, because his wife was upset because he was not at home all day, and, and she had to be talked off a ledge or whatever he was saying. Um, and I just feel like, okay, on the autopsy reports, there was um both of the children were put in different batteries, okay? I can't see who's on here. Hold on. They've changed this thing around, and I can't even go off of my phone on YouTube anymore because I don't have enough subscribers because I never ask anybody to subscribe. So if y'all are watching this, please subscribe so that I can get up to however many you have to have so that I can live stream from my phone. This is ridiculous. But anyway, so um yeah, they were in two batteries. Okay. mm, Chris is not the sharpest tool in the shed. All right. And I'm not stupid either. And I saw, in fact, let me see if I can even pull that up to show. I saw the hole and the size of the hole that those children were supposed to be dropped in. Let me tell you something. A newborn baby's head is bigger than those holes are. And newborn babies have a soft head that they're flexible, but by the time these children were the age they were, their heads are no longer flexible like that. Those growth plates have fused by that age. There is no way in HE double hockey sticks that um hey TJ, I see you. I see you. um how are you doing tonight? But there's no way that those kids were put in. Hey, Kat, how are you doing? Glad you're joining us. I'm just talking about a theory that I don't think I've heard a lot of people talk about. I mean, I've heard them hit and miss, but uh, tell me, did y'all see pictures? Um, did y'all see the pictures of the holes that he supposedly put the children in? First of all, they did the diameter across. Okay, it was 8 inches, if I'm not mistaken. But then, if you looked closer, there was a little ring that went down a little bit deeper, and it was a little bit smaller than even the outside. I'm going to tell you right now, there is no possible way that those children went through those hatches at the top. That is a lie. Okay, so here's the thing. Um, I think the kids honestly were killed the night before. So when Chris Watts said to the police officer, None of this makes sense. She wasn't supposed to be there. I think that Nicole showed up at his house freaking out. I think that Bella woke up. I think that that is why Bella's mouth, her tongue was bitten through. Truly, I think that some kind of crazy incident took place. Um, I think, or possibly she could have done something without his knowledge. There was a basement, and they had mentioned that there was a lot of in and out in the basement, a lot of steps that morning, when they tracked all the movement in the house. Um, all right, so listen to this. After the phone video or the FaceTime video the night before, after the kids had eaten supper, after the party and all that stuff, I just think something went down. And Bella did indeed fight. She fought whoever it was. And I do think that it possibly could have been the other person, the other woman, the home wrecker. Um, and then I think that once Bella had been killed, I think at that time he freaked out because he knew. I mean, Shanann was a mama. She was a mom. You know what I'm saying? She was about her kids. And I think he knew, and I'm sure that there was some coaxing and there was, and I just personally think that she might have, um, I personally think she might have killed the children and she just like was really leading the way. He doesn't seem like much of a leader to me. Does he to you guys? I mean, that man, I don't know that he could, honest to God, decide what to have for supper. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't see him taking the lead on something like this. Um, Now he's an idiot and he's an Ahab spirit, and he is definitely just, follow right along. And Nikki is definitely a Jezebel, and she was in control, no doubt about it. I'm not giving him a pass. He is sitting right where he needs to be. But I mean, I want it to be full justice because I think those kids deserve it, and I think Shanann deserves it. And more than anything, I think Shanann's parents and her brother deserve that because they're the ones that are they're having to live with this. And all of her friends, her best friend that came, that honestly, if it had not been for her, this may have honestly been the perfect crime. I mean, they may have got away with it because when I finished telling you my theory, it is. I know it sounds crazy, but when you think about it, you're gonna say, "Wow, that makes sense." So anyway, I think they go out to Servy in Nicole's truck, the NK's truck, or whatever you want to call her, home wrecker. I think they went out there in her truck that night with the two little girls in trash bags. Wow, the trash bags were there. Um, and oh yeah, she really full of those plans. Praise God for her. I have written her a letter. I pray she gets it. 'Cause I really believe, I'm telling you, had it not been for her, mm, I think that they would still be looking for those bodies because I think that there was something more planned. But I think that when Chris said she wasn't supposed to be there, that was the night before, and I think something went down. Bella struggled, the other one didn't. I don't think he could do it. I think he is too much of a wuss. I would say the other word, but I'm trying to watch my mouth because I am a Christian and I'm trying to really work on that. But I want to call him another word, but I'm not going to. Had, I don't think he had it in him to do that to them. And I think that's why he's really gone overboard whenever they did his interview about Daddy, no, and stuff like that, because he is so trying to cover for that girl. Still, he is so stupid. I'm telling you, he doesn't have the IQ of Forrest Gump. Um, and so I think that they went out there that night. Okay, he knew then, oh, I've got to kill Shanann because once she finds out these kids are dead, then I mean I'm dead. Um, There's no way he could explain this, and so it was just so much easier just to go with it, and he might have been even in a state of shock, not that I'm taking up for him, because like I said, mm, makes me sick what he did, the whole thing makes me sick, and had he not done what he did and fallen for that nasty home wrecker of a whore, this would have never happened. Let me see. It says she was a bulldozer boy. I saw Chris Watts giving Nicole Hawkinson the side eye a few times. Oh yeah, I love that, buddy. She went in there and she took control. She was like, She knew something was wrong because she knew her friend, and she knew her friend would not, first of all, go anywhere without her phone with the business that she was in, and also those children were her life. She would have never left there without those car seats. And if she would have gone on like a walk or a stroll, she would have definitely taken her phone because she had children with her. What pregnant woman is going to go on a stroll in the heat of August, pregnant, not feeling well, without her phone? That's just not going to happen. So thank God for that friend. Um, but so I think that they went out to that site in her truck that night. And I think when they were coming back in is when the neighbor across the street. Do y'all remember the old lady across the street that they interviewed? And she said that she got up and worked out every morning, and that she noticed that Chris Watts's truck was parked in a different spot. And then she said she goes, come to think of it, I did notice another truck there, and it was gray, and it was not the same color gray. Well, she admitted in the police interview she drove a truck, and there's also a truck in front of her mother's house if you Google Earth it. So, um, and her mother is in the picture that I used, and um, YouTube, just so you know, that was a public picture that I got off of a public forum, so I have the right to use that picture. So the picture that I used is a picture from like 9 years ago, and it is her and her biological mother. So anyway, um, so she had a truck. So I think that they took the kids that night because listen to this, Colorado, that dirt is mighty hard, isn't it? There's not like a lot of topsoil. It's more deserty and rocky. You tell me how one man could go that morning, smash two little girls through an 8-inch hole. I mean, we have to dilate bigger than that to have a newborn baby, people. We are not stupid. Come on. Okay. Did y'all see the way that they had to find the little girls and get them out? Well, trust me, that's the same way they were put in. And it was done the night before. They both knew very well how to empty those tanks and unscrew the places in the back and put them in there and then fill them back up because otherwise it would have alerted there was a problem because those things have sensors on them if there's something wrong. mm, you know um Frank Senior said CW never backed that truck in like that all the 3 months that he and Sandy stayed with him. No, he didn't. The neighbor said that, and the old lady across the street that saw the other truck there that was smaller than Chris's. She also said that. So, and this is another thing. Think about this. He did back that truck in. He did. But did he back it in enough to pull Shanann out dead alone? Do you know how heavy dead weight is? That is really heavy. I mean, I have picked up like somebody that's passed out before or tried to. And even a smaller person, that is heavy. And I'm not saying that he was a pipsqueak or anything. I mean, he had definitely been working out, but we're talking a woman who was, 15 weeks pregnant and she was dead. Yeah, that whole community is like Big Brother Central. I mean, there are cameras on I mean, everywhere you turn, there's a camera on front door, and it's like the neighbors have even all said they all have the same like security systems. So they tracked all the chaos that was in the house, and somebody said that as many steps that took place that morning, it looked like all hell broke loose. So it was like, and this is just what I think happened. I think that after they went out to the site and they emptied the tanks and put the girls in and all that stuff, they forgot about those trash bags, and they probably the wind blew them away or something, and they couldn't find them in the dark, and they were just trying to get out of there. But I think they possibly dug the hole together the night before because that ground is hard, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't see how he would have dug that morning, to put her in there big enough, deep enough for her, to lay in there and cover her up. But I do think that all this was going on, um, you know, and I think possibly she might have not been in his truck at all. She might have been, I mean, he might have backed it up in there enough to get her in that back door, but he had to have help. And also, um, let's see, yeah, oh, yeah, that's another thing. Whenever he had to go to the next site, boy, he had to go. He could not wait. He could not hold it now. So either that what's his name? Trent Fell was telling the truth and he has no control over his bowels now, or he was literally crapping his pants because he knew that the crap was hitting the fan because Nicole was calling from his house and she was saying she's going to call the police. He knew that the sheets and everything were still, you know, and that's another thing. Think about this. How did if he suffocated those children at the site with those blankets he was talking about, how did the blankets get back in the house before he ever got back home? Um, does that make sense to y'all? Oh, another thing is, like I said, possibly meth or speed or something. That'll make you crap your pants too. Like, seriously, I'm just saying, like, I don't do it, but I live in an area where out past the airport, that's where all the tweakers live. And like literally, I'm just saying that is a side effect I've heard. So possibly there might be a lot of reasons why he crapped his pants. So, he needed some of those diapers off of Ooh, I Crap My Pants back in the, when they did that off of Saturday Night Live. But, oh, yeah, and he just happened to take a change of clothes. I don't believe that. I think the man came back. I think that they were coming back seriously from doing all this and taking all those kids out there, and they might have even done it at the same time. I don't know. I think they went out there earlier with the other girls. But possibly, they went out and was actually coming back, and he was really getting ready for work to go to work that morning but it was just a little earlier than normal because she was coming back possibly, to the house with him. I don't know, but I'm saying there is something here that is not right. Yeah, I do too. I think those girls were dead before Shanann got home. That's right, and he had to follow through with her. And, remember in his interview with Dr. Phil, now I'm gonna say this, I do think he is a liar, and he's not a good one. So you have to kinda read between what he says, but he caught himself a couple times when he talked about, "We had a shovel." He goes, "Well, we have," and then he tried to act like, "Oh, well, they all have that on their equipment," or whatever. Um, cat yeah. Yeah, there was way too much to do in that amount of time for him to do it alone. There's just no way. And also, I was even wondering that Jim fella that she brings up, all the time. I mean, hey, for first of all, her dad came in that interrogation room, and I know that a lot of times when kids are in trouble, their parents aren't even allowed to be in there sometimes if they're 16 or older in the interrogation room, depending on what the situation is. Why was her father allowed in there to talk like that? And the way he spoke to those police officers, I mean, really? And they actually, like, they treated him like, "Yes, sir," "No, sir," whatever. He acted like a lawyer, oh, leading. I mean, like that, like they're having a court case in there. Um, yeah, he curtailed when he sounded too much like a monster. Yeah, oh, and then when he said, "Did I do this? Or did I just do this like a monster?" You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, you're hazy on that, but you're so sure on everything else. Oh, except for did you work out or not? I mean, come on. Yeah, let's see. I killed my kids and then I went and worked out. Then I made my lunch. I mean, this is insane and does not make sense. Y'all. Oh, and also, did y'all catch on the camera when they show? I know this basement is a garden level or whatever, but did you notice where they have the pea gravel and all that? That there's actually a little ladder that goes down. And the police, they noticed that day when they looked, they slid those windows open and shut. So the downstairs basement window was indeed open. And there's a ladder that goes down into the basement from the ground level because it's a garden level basement. So that shows you right there. Oh, and another thing. How about when Chris comes into the garage, the first thing he does is open the garage. Um, um he opens the garage before going to the house. He goes through the garage and he opens Shanann's car. I think honestly he was either taking the keys out or putting the keys in or something because this is what I think that they were planning, okay? And it's brilliant in a way if you think about it. If thank God that friend hadn't come forward. But I think truly he's still worried to keep up appearances. Yeah, the green tuck right at the back fence. Uh-huh, yeah. I didn't even know about the green tote. Wow, thanks, Kat, for sharing that. I'll have to look into that. I'm telling you, I'm coming into this late, very late. Okay, so I think that Shanann and NK both had dark hair, longer hair. Shanann wore these big glasses. She wore caps sometime. I really think that what was going on is while Chris was at work, that she was gonna go through the back way, and she was gonna come in there after they had gotten rid of, the bodies, and she was gonna dress like Shanann, and she was gonna, go through the house or whatever, and I'm sure she had the codes, and I think she was gonna dress in Shanann's clothes, and I think she was gonna go in there, and I think she was gonna get in that car, and I think she was gonna drive the car out so that all the neighbors could see that she left. And truly, I think that was gonna be the plan that she just took off. And the cell phone and the pocketbook, the reason that that wasn't gotten rid of yet is because that was going to go with her when she got dressed. I'm sure that they put it somewhere they knew it would be. And the ring on the night table that he said, and oh, isn't it kind of interesting, don't you think, that this woman went to school to study gemology, to study how much money gems are worth, but yet she doesn't know how much the wedding ring could be because he asked her. Remember, she said he asked her. I wonder how much this is worth, and she was like, "Heck, I don't know, pawn it." That doesn't even make sense. If she's a gemologist? Anyway, so I'm just curious, and those dogs were alerted in that basement for a reason, y'all. Like the dog with the trauma. And I'm just wondering if that's possibly, where they took Shanann out through. I mean, did they possibly take her out through the back? I just don't I just don't see how bold they would be to open a double car garage with the lights on like that with the truck pulled back and the door open because the truck was not pulled all the way in the garage. The front part was still out. And I'm just thinking, I mean, like, how did that happen? Because you can sit there and visibly see what they were doing and what they weren't doing. So I'm just like, y'all, I mean, do y'all not notice? that there's just so many inconsistencies here. I mean, it's like I don't know, and the way that the, text back and forth between her and her best friend were when she was at the beach, and she was talking about how he wouldn't touch her, and that something had changed because, 5 weeks before, 6 weeks before, they couldn't keep their hands off each other, and then all of a sudden, this woman comes in, and he has no affection at all for his family, 0, that he wants to just get rid of them. I'm not saying that they had the perfect life or that Shanann wasn't a little bit OCD. I mean, obviously, she liked things done the way she liked them done because he said that. Everybody around her said that. You can look at that house and tell that she loved everything in order. But she said to her friend that if he wants to go on his own way, just tell her she can take care of the kids. She admitted that she would do that. So it's not like he had to do this. So I'm really thinking that, they had pretty much talked about separation and divorce, you know, and I think he was really going to possibly try to go through with that. And I really think that possibly that, when they were talking about going out of town or when they were talking about going to a counselor or something, or when she was saying, well, he's acting a little bit better now or whatever, I'm thinking possibly that, you know, he wasn't sure at this point because, he'd been away from her. He admitted, "Oh, I wish that she hadn't gone away for 6 weeks," trying to blame it on her. And then, "Oh, well, I wished I wouldn't have got the raise," trying to blame it on the raise, why he was in the office and had to be around that girl, NK. Plus, no one came or went from the house except his wife, and he was the last one to see any of them. Yep, that's exactly right. But listen to this. What did he tell the people? Like, he tells on himself. It's not even what he just is so stupid. Oh my God. He goes, "Oh, there's no camera in the back." Like, he was quick to tell them there was no camera in the back. And he may have been trying to do that to say, "Oh, well, somebody could have come in the back and, taken him out the back way." Okay, so one person is going to come in there and drag up a pregnant woman and 2 children up those ladders in the back. Oh, well, I guess they could have gone down the thing. They had the deck back there, but he just said it. I don't doubt she made the man feel dumb, but it's nothing he couldn't handle divorcing. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Listen, she has a very strong personality. I do too. My husband is more laid back. And I hate to say this, and my husband and I've talked about this. He admits it. He says, I'm not as outgoing. I'm not as like just, you know, it's not he's not friendly. He is. It's just that he's just more shy. So and I am sure that I probably have bossed him around. We've been married, well, we've been together 28 years, okay? So let's put it this way. He hadn't killed me. And I'm a bit like Shanann when it comes to wanting things in order or wanting things a certain way. And, you know, if you think about it, if you've got somebody, I'm not going to say that she married lower than maybe she should have, but do you know what I'm saying? I think she might have settled because she was going through a dark place in her life when she found out she had lupus, and she was just like really, really, and she had gone through the divorce, and I think she was just in such a low place in her life, and I think that he was really good at love bombing her at first, and I think that I don't know. I just think maybe she was a little bit more intelligent than he was, or a lot more intelligent than he was. And it's hard sometimes to be like married to somebody that maybe is a little bit slow, as she said on one of her videos. I don't think she was kidding about that. I think she was serious. I think she was very intelligent, and I think she was a go-getter, and listen, if she wasn't, she wouldn't have been making the money she was making, and she was pulling it down pretty good and to be in the multi-level marketing, business like that and to be making that kind of money, you gotta be doing something. You gotta be hustling. And she was doing that for her family, for her kids. She wanted to give them a good life, you know? And let's see, I think never her her darkest dream would she think he was capable. I agree, and that's what scares me. And I think that is, honest to God, what has drawn people to this case. I really believe that she like had no clue. I mean, seriously, looking at it from the outside in, would any of y'all had a clue that that kind of man that loved his children like that and took care of his family, they would never think he would do anything like that. Yeah, yeah. She was very smart. And, I don't know, did y'all see that video he did on relationships, like, back when he was going to community college, I guess? He didn't seem like he had much personality, that boy, but he was given, a relationship class on how to save a relationship and all the steps. So it's not like the guy didn't knew what he was doing. He knew very well what he was doing whenever he was having an affair and going off with another woman. That's where he messed up. Um, no, I know guys like that. Nope, I know guys like that. Guys like what? Stupid? Or just not very smart? Pitiful? Um, and his mom, y'all, oh my gosh. I hate to even get started on that because I hated this video to go this long, but I mean, his mother is insane. Uh, Yeah, Chris Watts. Yes. He I mean, did he even graduate community college? I don't even know. I don't know. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I did go to community college myself. I did. And then I went and got my cosmetology degree and I own my own hair salon and tanning salon. I'm not saying that yep, happy wife, happy life. And that is true. That is true. But you know what? She was good to him too. It's not like she was always just cutting him down and never good to him. I mean, I saw the way she treated him, and I know that they're on camera and they're going to put their best foot forward on the camera. I get that. But I'm just saying, for her friends and everybody around to say that they did not see that, it looked like the perfect wife, looked like the perfect life for them. NASCAR college, yes. Is that? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was. Yeah. Because they worked together at the dealership for a while when they lived in North Carolina before they moved. I forgot about that. Um, Listen, I don't care if she was a raging witch. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That did not call for him to annihilate his family. And like I said, I think that complete justice needs to be brought to this. And I think that every single person that had anything to do with this needs to be brought to justice. I think that one is in there now, and I hope he has to see. And as far as those pictures being in his room, it depends. Seriously, it does depend. On one hand, it makes you think he needs to sit there and look at those pictures and think about what he could have had and what would have been going on right now. Like he would have been happily married with a new little baby boy and his little girl is so happy about her brother. You know what I'm saying? He could have still been living that life. They could have sold that house. They had so much equity in that house. And even though they owed stuff, they could have still sold that house and moved into a different community and maybe not paid as much and gotten out of debt a little bit. There was other ways out of this than to kill your family and find somebody else in 6 weeks. I mean, you just don't make decisions like that, especially when your wife is pregnant. I mean, that is like a major life change, like moving or anything else. And they were talking about moving at that. So anyway, I just want to get on here and give my theory, which like I said, it's just a theory, and I do believe they're gonna come out with more stuff. I don't think that they've got her in, witness protection because, um, they're afraid of her, um, safety. I truly think that they possibly have her in there because they're watching her to make sure they know where she's at. It seems like it hadn't clicked yet. Like he's just a good little soldier in prison. I agree. And don't you find it interesting and weird that he was so concerned about the attorneys and wasting the court's time, and that's why he went ahead and pleaded guilty, and that oh, I'm just so worried about everybody else. And oh, well, I am worried about Nikki and this, that, and the other. But he wasn't worried one time about his family that he took out, or the fact that he was saying that I hope that it didn't traumatize the workers when they had to deal with the bodies and this, that, and the other. And I'm just thinking, okay, so you just killed your family or had your family killed or took part in your family's death or murder. And then you're worried about all these other people, which is to me fake. To me, as somebody that doesn't have feelings and possibly just mimics what he sees other people do. And it's just narcissism, like truly. And he thinks that he's smart and he's getting away with something, but he is so not, and he is not an intelligent man at all. All right, look at what he threw away to rot to in prison. That's what I'm saying. His wife was beautiful, and she had such a good personality, and she was so full of life. And that thing that he threw it away for, I mean, literally, she's like the Black Widow. I mean, he sat there and saw her go off the rails like a crazy train and said he had to talk her off the ledge one time. And beautiful children that loved their dad, like Bella singing, "My dad is my hero" and all that. That's just horrible. I just don't see, like, if he really did that, how could he look at those pictures? You know what I'm saying? I mean, either he really is that monster, or either truly there was someone else there working, and then he just went along with it because he's a dadgum idiot. I mean, he truly is. He's just stupid. And I think he was very easily led by the nose by that girl. And honestly, I don't want to say what it is, but Prince sang a song about it back in the day. And I'm going to use the initials PC for that. And I think that's exactly what is going on here. And that is how she was controlling him. Um, because his wife did admit to her friend on text messages that maybe she hadn't felt as much because she was pregnant and a little bit sick and this, that, and the other, and was that her fault? And anyway, it's just she was trying to find anything she could find, I guess, to not let it be another woman, which I'm sure that's what you would want to do if you're pregnant, 15 weeks pregnant with your husband's son or baby. At that time, she didn't know she was having a son, I don't think yet, in North Carolina, but and this is another crazy thing. We were at the beach actually at the same time they were at Myrtle Beach, and that little thing that they were on, that they were letting the kids ride on, like I sat on our porch and like watched that thing like all the time. Like I would go outside and sit and watch it, thinking like that would be fun. I would like to do that, but I never did it because I think it was like fun, but I don't think it would be fun for me in reality with my age and my arthritis. That probably wouldn't have been very fun. But anyway, um, yeah, I was at the beach at the same time they were there. I mean, I didn't realize that. Like I said, I just found this out a couple months ago. But whenever I found out they were in Myrtle Beach, and I was like, "Hey, we were in Myrtle Beach," and I looked back on my timeline in my pictures, and I realized we were there. So, I mean, who knows? We could have bumped into them for all I know and not even known it. But that I just found that weird. And also, okay, my name is Sharon. Um, and she has a friend, I guess, named Sharon. And when I started watching these videos, like I said, the only reason I even noticed this is because she had started talking about the one I saw, the very first one I saw, she was talking about she had lupus and she had fibromyalgia, which are things that I suffer with. So she like was talking about that. And so I was gonna try to get in touch with the lady to find out like what she was taking because I needed some help. And then I found out what happened, and I was just like, "Oh my lord." So I just started watching these videos of her just like over, one after another. I was like, "What?" I mean, I don't understand. I just was like shocked, and I don't even know the lady, but I don't know for some reason she just like touched my heart. And so like she has a friend named Sharon, and I'm not even kidding you. Every time she does a video, and she's like, "Hey Sharon," or she's like, um, she'll just say certain things, and it just like, I don't know, it pierces my heart, like, every time, because I do feel like that she cannot rest in peace until everybody who was involved with the death of her I don't even think it's about her. Like, I'm a mom, and I can just tell you right now, I mean, if my husband killed me, that would be bad and all that, you know, but I would let God deal with that, and but I'm just saying, like, if somebody hurts your children, that's something different. And I don't know what the afterlife is like exactly. The Bible gives us a little small indication of that. Um, so I know there is one. And I don't know. I don't know if she's able to. I I don't know if you have a choice to move on. I don't know. I just don't know. But there's been some crazy things going at that house after, like, everybody's moved out of it. Like, the alarm's gone off, they've seen somebody in there, just some weird things. So, I don't know. I do know that trauma sometimes done in a house can cause, supernatural activity that's, like, not good. It's like a demonic situation. So, I don't know if that's what's going on, and they've also now put off the sale of that house where they were gonna auction it off, and now they're not. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with, um, Shanann's parents, putting a civil lawsuit on, the estate and maybe putting a hold on that, or if it's got to do with the police are just still not done and they are looking for everything because they've already messed up. And Chris said that she was only there once, and Nikki said that she was there twice. And they asked her how she entered, and she kept going, "Oh yeah, this, that, and the other." And she said, "Well, the first time he let me through the front door because he was cleaning the carpets." Okay, and then the second time she said, "I think we went through the garage." So she was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 I'm sure I went through the garage." You can tell when she's lying because she makes this that sound. I mean, it just makes like nails on a chalkboard to me. I wish I could go to jail to be her prison mate for about like 5 seconds, or just I don't know. She needs to go to jail seriously, and let some of them women in prison who's good and seasoned get a hold of her. And Chris Watts too, I'm honestly surprised he's still around. And um I do know that one of the guys in the other prison in Colorado did, I think, try to put a hit on him or something, but I mean, so what? That's what happens. You know what? Don't kill your family and then you won't end up in prison where you may be the target. So I'm gonna get off, but it is again, yeah, 7:38. So I'll let everybody go because I'm sure everybody's gonna go to bed early tonight, hopefully, for Resurrection Sunday tomorrow. Um, and by the way, I don't know if you thought about this or not, but they said Jesus was in the grave for 3 full days, and he was crucified on Friday. And like some from Friday to Saturday is one day, from Saturday to Sunday is two, and Sunday to Monday is 3 days. And I'm just wondering, has anybody else been curious about that? Um, if you do know the answer to that, just write it below if you can. I would appreciate that. All right. Hit subscribe and like if you can, because like I said, they've got a new thing where if you don't have at least 1,000 subscribers, they don't want you to go live. So anyway, I've got to try to get that. They're really trying to shut down the people that they don't want spreading different propaganda from what they're spreading. You know what I'm saying? You too. Happy Resurrection Sunday to you. Ah, I hope you have a great day tomorrow. Do you have kiddos yet? Because my eyes are bad, so I can't see your picture, so I can't like see like if you have any in there or not. But if you do, I hope they have a wonderful day tomorrow, and I'll be back on again. Yeah, yeah, it is kind of fun to watch them and watch them get all dressed up. I think that's fun. They enjoy that. Well, the boys maybe not so much. They don't like it, but the girls they usually do. Um, I guess it's a day for the girls sometimes to get all dressed up in their Sunday best. But anyway, well, y'all have a good night, and I'll see you back on here again. I hope I'll be on again soon. I'll try not to make it so long. We've had a situation going at our house, and my daughter had to move in with her daughter, with which is my granddaughter, and she's like she just turned a year old. In fact, her birthday was this past week, and so we've been like really just really busy here and had a lot going on. And I've been under a little bit of spiritual warfare. So please say a prayer for me if you can. Keep my family in your prayers. And I will do the same. And if you need any prayer, you're welcome to just like leave a comment below and leave your email address. And I'll be more than happy to pray with you or pray for you. All right. Have a good night. Bye, Kat. Good night.